Hello, Father Carlo. What can you tell me about Father Alfredo?
Ah, Father Alfredo. He was a leading figure in San Leo in the 18th century. A man of unshakable faith, as well as philanthropist and benefactor. His mortal remains reside here, within our ossuary, together with those he deemed worthy of such a privilege. Knights from a distant time.
I was in shock. Carlo had just answered a question of mine. What if the scroll piece was in the ossuary? Let's suppose one wanted to visit the ossuary.
No, I really couldn't oblige the request of this friend.
What friend?
This one you're talking about.
Oh.
I've been appointed by the bishop to personally safeguard the keys, and that is a duty to be followed at any cost.
It was the first time I'd seen Father Carlo so fired up and passionate. I wouldn't be able to fool him with words this time. See you later, Father. Amazing. Can I have this vaporizer?
To do what?
Billions of useful and extravagant things.
Suit yourself.
I've done some absurd stuff in my life, but at that moment, I really didn't want to put a sticky flower in my pocket. The tree had lost...
Hands off or I'll cut them off. That bag contains some powerful hunting anesthetics.
Hunting anesthetics. Cool.
Don't get any ideas. I can't leave them in the hands of a novice.
I've done some... Maybe taking Carlo to a secluded place would help me get rid of him. I have an urgent need to confess.
Sit down, my son. I'll be there in a moment. How long since your last confession, dear Mariano?
Give or take, it might be... 20 years?
Good heavens. We have a lot to talk about then. Go ahead and start whenever you feel at ease.
I tricked a big baby into believing that my stuffed bear was a panda.
These jokes don't help anyone, you brat.
It isn't a joke. I had to infiltrate an abandoned factory to retrieve some files related to the trafficking of strange magical artifacts.
Come on now, stop pulling my leg.
I've stolen things. Of every kind.
For financial reasons?
Nah, not really. I keep facing strange obstacles to overcome. Situations to the point of absurdity that always require a creative approach to solve. For example, a few days ago I had to lock up a hen in a chicken coop to steal its egg and use it to cook some meatballs.
Meatballs? Ah, hunger is a nasty beast.
No, I needed them to convince a grumpy cook to give me a bloody hot. Maybe it would be better to change the subject. I beat a woman of a certain age with an adjustable iron wrench.
I beg your pardon?
More than once. In my defense, the woman in question was pointing a gun at me.
God almighty, help us.
And that's all.
On your conscience weighs a heavy burden. But don't despair, because the Lord hates the sin, not the sinner. Now let us bow our heads in prayer, my son. Listen to your heart, and in your deepest soul, repent of everything you've done.
Nice speech, but I had bigger fish to fry. This was the right opportunity to try knocking the priest out. Father, I can finally hear my clear conscience.
It's the gift of our Lord, dear Gino. Never forget it, and come back whenever you want. I'm here for you.
Tekla did mention her father's hatred of flowers. How could I resist such a temptation?
And what's that supposed to be? What the hell is wrong with you?
I thought it might represent an aesthetic improvement.
What the heck? Get out of my way!
The resin would have made the orchid sticky.
Damned flower again. This time I'll cut your hands, cretin. Don't worry, Tata. I'll fix you in a second. Ugh, what's up with this flower? Did it take root? Hey! Lift the tarp right now, cretin.
The mechanism must have been stuck. Give me a second.
So are you going to let me out or what? It's about time.
That way I could have sprayed the anesthetic more effectively. I have an urgent need to confess.
Sit down, my son. I'll be there in a moment. What sins have you committed, lost young sheep?
I'd say the same as last time.
The same in all respects?
Yes, Father. I can't overcome my impulses.
There's very little we can do. Let us join together in prayer, my son. How weird. Suddenly I...
The signal on the door indicated that Carla was hearing someone's confession. I hoped it was enough to deter other sinners eager to redeem themselves. The shutter was almost entirely lowered, making the environment barely discernible. It was a metallic ring that allowed the chain to be secured once lowered. Damn, the latch I needed to lock the chain was broken, yet the two ones were so close together. The bracelet would be perfect to secure the chain. Wow. I was gripped by awe for a few seconds, surrounded by death as I'd never been before. Then I realized a huge number of niches in the ossuary. I couldn't defile them all. Those niches were ancient. Too ancient for what I was looking for. The dates on those niches matched the period I was interested in. In addition, the names looked Polish. What I was looking for was right there, a few inches from me. I just had to find the right grave. I couldn't see any reference to eagle wings. During the day, the fortress was back to shining, engulfed by its elevated tranquility. It gave me a thrill, though, together with the memory of the fight I had the previous night with the doctor. That panel was a reminder of the forced stay. The Emperor survived. The panel stated that the structure would be some of the artifacts Bartolome Jankowski. Eagle wings. Just a second. Father Alfredo wrote that the relic was protected by eagle wings. That was the name of the man I was looking for. One of the holders of the scroll pieces. So Father Alfredo rested in the church ossuary, along with the knights he deemed worthy. I also learned that a fragment of the scroll was entrusted to a particular knight nicknamed Eagle Wings. I no longer doubted it. The scroll piece had to be in the ossuary, specifically in the tomb of that knight. Wow, you became a local hero.
I didn't do anything in particular. I'm just soft. I knew eating all those donuts would be good for something sooner or later.
Judging by his condition, that medkit had to belong to the workman. Among the tools, an unused syringe stuck out. Somebody could get pricked. Something fell off.
It's just a folded handkerchief.
It's because of people like you that the cities are full of garbage. Hey, Oliviero. Let's see if I figured out your plan to conquer Gaia. You want to recover Count Cagliostro's scroll in the hope of...
Chemical formulas. You know what the alchemists were famous for, don't you?
So, you hope to find the formula and use your PhD in chemistry to transmute gold?
I'd become rich beyond all imagination, Lazaro. And at that point, Gaia would fall at my feet.
I'm no love expert, but I don't think it works exactly like that.
You'll see. You'll see.
About the pieces of the scroll. I recovered your fragment, the one Tekla lost.
Oh, what a relief. It's the most important discovery of my life. We still need 2 pieces of scroll, but we're getting closer.
See you later. I look for Bartolome Jankowski among the names. There he was, the knight who was called Eagle Wings, to whom Father Alfredo entrusted the custody of the scroll, even in the afterlife. But now, how could I open that niche? It wasn't just walled, but further protected by a thick steel sheet attached with some rivets. Hey, Oliviero. I could be just a step away from one of the scroll pieces. I'm sure it's in the ossuary of the Church of St. Francis in Verna.
Oh, gross, Lazaro. Do you really want to desecrate a grave full of centuries-old rotten bones?
I'm not particularly excited about it, but it's what I have to do. The problem is that the niche is protected by thick steel plates, tightened with rivets.
I could synthesize a mild acid. Unfortunately, I don't have any fluorocarbon. I can order some from my supplier, but it will take time.
Of course. Can I get it for you some other way?
Fluorocarbon is found in firefighting agents, cooling liquids, additives for motor oil, and even some varnishes. Watch how you extract it, though. Fluorocarbon can be harmful to human beings.
See you later. I wonder if the fire was hot enough to melt the tire. Perfectly insulated. A brand new air conditioner. Mine, by comparison, produced an effect similar to an icicle in the oven. Olive told me that the fluorocarbon was used as a cooling liquid. Olive told me that the fluorocarbon was used as a cooling liquid. From under there, though, I couldn't reach the air conditioner. It wasn't moving an inch. Maybe it hadn't been used for a long time. Well, that bomb was viscous enough to lube the wheels. The ladder still refused to move. Now it was time to set aside my elaborate ploys and use a good dose of healthy brute force.
How impetuous. There must be a very interesting book on the upper shelves.
Of course. With the syringe, I could extract some fluorocarbon from the air conditioner.
You're very ebullient. I had never seen anyone inject an air conditioner.
Marquis de Vilta?
Oh, it's you. How do you feel, young man?
Better already. Takes a lot more than that to knock me out. There's another reason you didn't report me to Director Beringler, isn't there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
My intuition tells me there's a certain grudge between you two.
You're sorely mistaken.
De Vilta was clearly lying. Do you reckon there's an ancient scroll among the family assets?
No, I don't believe so. I would remember it. Now that I think about it, though, some recent renovation work revealed a wing of the castle that had remained hidden for centuries.
Well, let's suppose I wanted to take a look.
I'm afraid I can't accommodate your request in this case. Safety issues, you understand.
The reason De Vilta offered seemed legit, and yet it didn't convince me. Marquis, tell me the truth. What are you afraid of?
Pfft. I wouldn't ever leave control of the family castle to a man like Beringler, believe me. But in the face of certain explicit threats, I could do nothing other than capitulate, under the promise that this was just a temporary situation. Now it's been months that my castle has been in their hands. The same people who attacked you tonight, I presume.
That's why you stopped granting permits for the building.
But now you're here, and maybe you can help me chase them off.
That's what I'd like to do, but I need to inspect the recently discovered area.
It won't be easy. First, you'll need a key to the castle, which I don't possess anymore. In addition, access has been sealed with a security door that's impenetrable without the access code, which Beringler surely keeps as close as possible. If I had to bet, I'd lay it all on his green notebook. He writes down every detail, name, figure, anything at all relevant to the structure, and he's very jealous of it.
I'll take care of that. I assure you that soon these people will be gone from San Leo. Can you tell me anything else about Walter Beringler? I don't know. Weaknesses, fears, passions?
Let me think. Well, he has a sort of strange obsession about the sights he can enjoy from his desk. He made them demolish half a wall to get the kind of view he was looking for.
Huh. Well, that might come in handy. No, I'm going back to explore San Leo. I didn't understand how that could possibly help me. The fluorocarbon itself wouldn't have helped me get rid of the rivets. I had to give it to Olive to synthesize an acid. Here's your fluorocarbon.
You really managed to find some. You're a wizard. Do you have a suitable container?
Will this sprayer do?
Double glass, central straw, and metal alloy. Right. I can produce an acid that won't corrode it. Now, give me a few minutes. It's a delicate process. Here we are. A really powerful acid. Be careful. It's very corrosive.
I've kept worse things in my pockets. I found myself face to face with he who was the guardian of the scroll for the last 2 centuries. Apart from the skull, his remains were kept under a shroud depicting a rose over a cross. I could finally get out of that nightmarish place, but not before recovering my tracking bracelet. I had one piece of the scroll, and the next was waiting for me inside Castle Sancti Leonis. I just needed one more. I heard Carlo peacefully snoring inside.
This shift never ends.
Albert, are you smoking again? Why, you. Every time you force me to risk my neck on these damn slippery steps. I warned you, Albert. Don't say I didn't warn you. Give me those cigarettes right now. And don't make those goo-goo eyes. It's useless.
Have you been working in this building long?
Yes, I'm very competent in this, sector.
How long precisely?
We can say I've held this position for, several days.
Days? You said you were competent.
I'm a quick learner.
What do you think about Director Beringler?
Heavenly days! What an unusual request. Well,
The guard wore a concentrated expression. Beads of sweat gently purled on his forehead. Then he said,
I think he's a good-looking man, yes.
I meant, can you offer any other useful information about him? I don't know, anything that he might like or loathe?
Once, a while ago, I saw him choking on a coffee that the bartender in Dante Alighieri Square recommended to him. A new mixture. Well, it turned out it was infused with the flavor of licorice, which the director can't tolerate. You should have seen how he coughed. He seemed ready to explode.
Very, very interesting.
I agree. That infusion was very tasty.
Why did that guy confiscate your cigarettes?
This job is really monotonous, and I never know how to pass the time, so I smoke. Except I always forget there's a very good fire alarm in here.
Listen to me. Kick the habit. Anyway, I really don't like that bully's attitude. About the castle key, do you guard it?
No, the director personally locks up the castle every night and reopens it the following morning. He probably gets her at the first light of dawn.
That would be a real impediment. Even if I managed to steal the keys from Beringler somehow, he would surely notice their absence immediately.
Oh, silly me. Lake has a copy too, for emergencies. It didn't occur to me because he hardly ever uses them.
That is great news.
You're very kind to worry so much about the fate of our keys.
Tell me everything you know about Count Cagliostro.
Oh, yes. Well, yes. It was in the manual. I remember it.
Thick veins appeared on the guard's temples as he racked his brain. All that intense thinking inspired him to say,
He was a count, yes.
Trust me. Read through that manual again. Bye. Hey, Oliviero. If I asked for some licorice, would you send me around in search of something weird?
Just admit that you had fun picking that orchid.
Well, just a bit.
Here, enjoy the taste of true licorice.
You also sell cigarettes, right?
What a question. Of course I do.
Well then, give me a pack.
Any brand in particular?
No, the important thing is that they can be smoked.
You are one weird cat, eh? More than usual, I mean.
Because I was literally terrified. I already knew I'd been sentenced to death, but keeping a pack in my pocket was like carrying around a loaded gun. See you later. That was a very naughty idea. That's why I liked it. The balm dried instantly, becoming invisible at a quick glance. Hey, look what I have for you.
Are they for me?
Of course, I'm a fervent supporter of workers' rights.
Heavenly days! Thanks a lot.
Albert! Now I'm really sick and tired of you.
Everything fine, dude? Wait, I'll give you a hand.
You think I don't understand that all this has something to do with you?
If I'm not mistaken, I just helped you. I thought...
That would end up being friends? Wait, I'll call Albert too, so we can sit in a circle and sing Kumbaya.
Alright, never mind. I have to admit, Lake was smart, but not enough to stop me, since I had strategically pulled off his spare key. Albert claimed that it was rarely used, so I doubted I would be caught. Perfect. Once I found the security code too, I could enter the closed-off section.
Mr. Bundy, how can I help you?
Can you give me some information about Castle Sancti Leonis?
As the defensive stronghold of the De Vilta family, the structure has always been in the middle of fierce clashes between the local aristocratic families.
Does the Marquis have any relatives?
No, unfortunately, his bloodline runs out with him. Unless he procreates in the coming years, I can't categorically exclude that possibility.
Did you really have to say that? I'll have a picture of that in my mind for days. Tell me about the recently discovered area. It was only for a moment, but I noticed a small tremble in the director's pupils. Alice's advice was starting to prove useful.
I'll be frank. I do not think it's appropriate to share classified information with you.
And non-classified information? Let's say, any medieval death traps?
False myths disseminated by trash TV. The Middle Age wasn't the obscure period that exists now in the collective imagination. It was an era full of fervor, of enthusiasm for new discoveries, of brilliant inventions.
Like underwear. Well, I heard that in a documentary. What is your relationship with the Marquis de Vilta?
Strictly professional. I carry out the task I was entrusted with to the best of my ability, and that's it.
I sense a note of tension.
You're very perceptive. The Marquis doesn't seem to respect my authority, and the living proof of that is right here before my eyes.
The man sounded like he owned the castle. I have no further questions for the moment. In all likelihood, that was the notebook de Vilta told me about. I needed to get a peek in it. Berengler occasionally sipped from a glass containing an undefinable amber liquid. You have to excuse me now.
Come back whenever you like.
A crossbow, swords, daggers, a collection of coins. Well, nothing that mentioned Count Cagliostro. Count Cagliostro had his back to me. Elusive, mythical, surrounded by his aura of mystery. The panel reported detailed historical information, but my attention was quickly drawn to a specific paragraph. An incomprehensible Latin treaty with typical medieval calligraphy. It had to be a drain or a ventilation system. Maybe an ancient well? I knew I should have updated my knowledge on medieval history before embarking on that trip. A piece of the scroll was probably hidden back there, but to enter I needed the access code. The key to the castle, however, was already in my hands. The chainmail was as tough and scratchy as a grater to the touch.
What's wrong with you? I should put you in the slammer right now.
You're burning my retinas.
Sorry, I got lost in the role of the bad cop a bit too much. Anyway, this time I'll make an exception.
Mr. Bundy, how can I help you?
The scenery is really breathtaking.
Isn't it? Admire the wonder.
I leafed through the pages, which revealed themselves to be nothing more than a sort of personal record of Beringler. Inside it, as I hoped, was the code I was looking for. 8154. You have to excuse me now.
Come back whenever you like.
So I recovered the key for the castle and the security code for the closed-off section. I'd wait till the evening before sneaking in. I had 2 pieces of the scroll in my pocket, and the third was waiting for me inside Castle Sancti Leonis. All I had to do was wait for night and sneak in.